says that he has signed letters to about a dozen trading partners that he will send out tomorrow. So what could this mean for the cost of goods right here at home? ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is following this from Washington. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, Gio, good morning. The bottom line here is get ready for more tariffs. President Trump says starting tomorrow, he'll be sending letters to countries around the world, setting the individual tariff rate that each one will face. And about a dozen letters are expected to go out tomorrow. So for some context here, let's just step back a little. Remember that back in April, President Trump had imposed these steep tariffs on scores of countries. But after the markets tanked, President Trump reversed course and paused those tariffs for 90 days to allow for negotiations. Since then, very few deals have been announced and businesses have been left in limbo, unsure just how much they're going to have to pay for imported goods. So now Trump is saying, though, that these tariffs could range from 10% to a staggering 70%. That is even higher than the rate that he initially proposed. So the question here is, what's the reason for the change? Well, President Trump says there's simply too many countries to negotiate with, and that sending a letter is easier, Gio.
A lot to follow there, Selena, but also we're following that major bill that passed, what the president calls the big, beautiful bill, of course. So what can you tell us about this? Can you walk through some of this with us? Who benefits, who doesn't?
Yeah, Gio, well, there's a lot to get into. This bill is nearly 1,000 pages long, but analysis from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office finds that the wealthiest Americans will benefit the most, while the lowest income households could lose critical support. So first, if we look at taxes, this bill extends President Trump's 2017 tax cuts, and then workers who get tips or overtime will get a temporary tax break. But it also puts new caps on the amount that students can borrow in federal loans, and it phases out tax credits for green energy.
And what about health insurance? Because so many people are talking about health benefits being impacted here.
Yeah, and this is absolutely critical. Experts say that this is the biggest rollback in federal health support in history. The bill slashes funding for Medicaid, which is estimated to force 11.8 million Americans off of their health care coverage over the next decade. And health experts, Gio, say that the biggest effect there will mostly come from work requirements, not because people aren't working, but because the added red tape and paperwork could cause people to lose their health care. They also expect people to lose access from local health centers shutting down. It also makes it harder for people to get covered under the Affordable Care Act, and it further cuts funding for food assistance programs, Gio.
All right, so much to work through there. All right, Selena Wang, thank you so much for your reporting.
And Gio.
Yeah, so there you have it. So, Donald Trump, he's still, going on with these tariffs, trying to make, as affordable as we can. So go ahead, Ronnie. What's your take about Trump sending letters to these tariffs when it comes to other countries?
I think the letter is like him being professional. Just go ahead and send a letter and let him know, okay, this is what we're doing when it comes to the aspect of the tariffs. Of like your country gonna be serving, pretty much being taxed on a certain amount of percentage, and this is what we're looking for. If you're not pretty much gonna be gone by it, but let's go ahead and sit down and talk. Pretty much what presidents do all the time: send letters. I don't have an issue with that. I don't know why people making a big deal about it anyway. I'm trying to figure out why is it a big deal. I think that's like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to have a conference meeting with everybody, so I'm gonna send you guys a letter. Let me know you can be down with the program. Go right ahead, King.
I don't mind that too. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is the cuts to the Medicaid. I don't know how that's gonna affect women with kids. I don't know how to affect senior citizens. And that's the thing that I'm the most big about. The cuts with that's going to benefit healthy people, that's always going to be a play. The Democrats do the same thing. Like, I didn't see nothing bother to that. Like, the average American, I don't think maybe not even maybe notice a couple dollars difference. I think that's when we have to practice self-reliance and understand that we have to think out of the box to take care of ourselves. This is no other place. We've been doing this since the 80s. Like, wealthy people, like, once you come in the top 10, top 1%, they always benefit from taxes. So you just got to look at it from that play.
Yeah, absolutely. I see no problem with this. Trump, when it comes to these tariffs, he's very serious about changing these tax rates and everything, and he's not going to stop till he think we get the right rate when it comes to these tariffs and everything. So it's like I said, this is probably going to be probably maybe all the way to the end of the year process of when he try to fix it and everything. So, you know, we probably hear about these terror rates for the rest of the year because he's going to get as many countries as he can to, you know, hey, you know, we're going to try to switch things up, and you know, we're going to have when it comes to America, we're going to start something new and fresh and everything, and that's what he's been doing all year since he's been in office.